I'm going to teach you how to spice up the navigation of your WordPress website with the slick ripple effect
with the help of Elementor Pro.
Today I'm excited to share with you a tutorial on how to create an animated Elementor full screen pop-up menu with the power of Elementor Pro. The original code was created by Ananda Projapati. Ananda was kind enough to let me use his code as a foundation for today's video. So Ananda, if you're watching,
thank you.
And if you want a detailed explanation of the code, definitely go watch his tutorial. In today's video, however, all you will need is some copy and pasting skills.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at what we're going to build. As you can see, I have some wireframes here. And today we're really going to focus on what we want to achieve. So it's that ripple effect that you can see right here. We're not going to spend too much time with all the little details. We're really going to focus on achieving that. So as you can see, I can click, you see that nice effect, and then it goes back. Now, if you take a look at the mobile version, as you can see, it's looking great. And now let's take a look at the branded version for the Unfamous Academy website that I mentioned in the intro. So as you can see, it's pretty faithful to what we have here in the wireframes. So let's take a look at the mobile version one more time. Okay, and this is our mobile version. Now, as mentioned, to go a little bit faster, we use pre-made wireframes. And for that, I'm using a tool called Wirementor. Now, disclaimer, I built Wirementor, but you don't need it to complete this tutorial. I just use it to go a little bit faster. What you need though is Elementor, which is a free plugin, and Elementor Pro, which is the premium plugin. And we'll need it because we'll be using features such as custom header and the full screen navigation with the pop-ups. As usual, you find all the links in the description below, and these are affiliate links. So let's move into the WordPress dashboard. And the first thing we want to do is to add new plugins. Now, I've already installed the plugins. So the ones we need are Elementor, Elementor Pro, and as you see, there's another one called Simple Custom CSS and JS. So to install is pretty easy. Click on Add New and just follow the instructions. So I suppose you know how to install plugins, but if you don't know, just click on Add New. You land on this page, and if it's a free plugin, you can just look for the plugin here in the search engine, and then you will see the results here, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. Or if you want to install Elementor Pro, click on Upload Plugin, and then it's going to ask you to go locate the zip file on your computer. Now, for Simple Custom CSS and JS, so you're just going to type that in the search engine, and then it's going to appear here, and all you have to do is click on Install Now. I already did it, and then click on Activate. Okay, so once you've done that, you can go to Custom CSS and JS here in the left navigation. And as you can see, I've already created a CSS file and a JavaScript file. So for that, just click on Add CSS Code. You're going to land on a page like this. I already copied and pasted the code. So don't worry, as I said, if you are scared about code, you're not going to have to code anything. You'll find all the code in the companion blog post. So just give it a name here. You can give it pretty much any name you want, but I'm trying to make it semantic. So just imagine that later down the road, you have a lot of scripts, at least you know what it does. And I've just pasted the code here in the window, and you'll find the source to the original article from Ananda. So once you've pasted everything, just click on Publish. So I do have update here because I've already published, but you will see publish. So make sure you publish. Okay. And next, you want to do the same thing for the JavaScript. So here in the left navigation, click on Add Custom JS. You will land on the same page. And it's exactly the same, well, almost exactly the same, because just write the title, copy and paste the code, okay? But here on the right-hand side, make sure you select footer instead of header, okay? So if I go back to the CSS file, we can leave it in the header. But now in the JavaScript file, so the second file, make sure you select footer, because otherwise it's not going to work. At least when I tested, it was not working. So make sure you select footer, then click on Publish. Now, I had a bug initially when I was testing this tutorial. So I did that, I copied and pasted everything. I click on Publish, And then I started moving on to the rest of the tutorial. And at one point, it was not working. So I was going crazy. I was like, what's going on, man? And actually, it was just that it did not actually publish the code. So make sure you go back, click to custom CSS and JS. Make sure you get both files here. And just open each file to make sure that the code is there, just as a word of caution. In the next step, we're going to start working on our full screen pop-up. So if we take a look at the demo, we have two main components here. The first component is the header here that you can't really see because it's blue on blue, but you see later when we make it sticky. So we have the header here. And when you click here on the icon, you have the full screen pop-up. So these are the two main elements we're going to work with. And in this step, we're going to take care of this, the full screen pop-up. Now, I'm not going to go through each and all the steps, not because I don't want to, but because I've already covered that in many videos. So what I'll do instead, I'll put a link in the description if you want to know how to achieve that. Now, I'm just quickly going to go over it. But if you want the details, just check in the description of this video and you find a link to a complete tutorial on how to create the header, the full screen pop-up and everything. But as I said, today we want to focus on creating that effect. Okay, so let me close that and let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. So for that, we want to go to template pop-ups. Okay, as you can see, I have several pop-ups. These are actually imported from Wirementor, but we're going to edit this one. So full screen navigation 01. So basically what you will do, I'm not going to do everything, but you would click on add new pop-up, give it a name. And once you do that, you're going to land on a page like this that you will have to style. And as I said, you'll find the tutorial in the description. Okay, so I already have the full screen pop-up designed. So the first thing we want to do is go and click on the gear icon in the bottom left corner of this window. And we're going to start making sure we have all the settings correctly in place. So we want the width to be 100 VW, the height to be custom 100 VH, content position, that's going to be top here. And we want to make sure that we deactivate overlay and close button. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is make sure that entrance animation is set to none. And the same thing for exit animation. So by default, it will say default, but make sure it says none. Okay, and for the animation duration, we're just going to remove whatever is in the box here. Okay, next, we're going to move to style, but we're not going to change anything here. So let's move on to advanced. So in this tab, make sure you prevent closing on overlay and also prevent closing on escape key. Okay, next we want to move to where it says CSS classes and you want to add the class contact-popup. Now, once again, you'll find all the info in the companion blog post. Why? Just because this is the class that's referenced in the JavaScript code from Ananda. Okay, and next we want to change the Z index. Now, what is the Z index? Basically, the Z index is just a number where we can decide the order of layers. So this screen is a layer, and then we can have something on top of that or underneath that. So you'll understand that in a moment. But although in most places in Elementor, you can just go to the advanced tab, and then you can add the number here to change the Z index. For some reason, we don't have that option for the pop-up settings. So what do we need to do? CSS code. So just click on custom CSS and we're just going to paste some code. So I'm just going to paste it now. So once again, all you have to do is go to the companion blog post or just recreate what you see here on screen. Okay, and then click on update. So with that, we've manually set the Z index to 998, and you'll understand in a moment. So next, we're going to take care of our header. In this segment, we're going to take care of our header that you can see right here. So for that, let's go back to WordPress dashboard, then go to templates, theme builder. And as you can see, I already have my header. So once again, if you don't have a header, you would click on add new, select header, give it a name. And once you've done that, you land on a page like this. So I already have a pre-designed template that I actually edited. And as you can see, we have one section and 3 columns. So here we have the logo. Then we have a button. It's actually a button with a transparent background. And here we have an icon. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is click on the 6 dots here for the section. Then you want to move on to the advanced tab, and we're going to set the Z index. Now, if you recall in the previous step, we set the full screen pop-up Z index to 998. So we're going to make this one 997. So just type that where it says Z index. Okay. And next you want to click on motion effects, sticky, and we want to make it sticky on top. Okay, so what will happen, you probably know, but by doing that, when we scroll on the page, the header stays sticky. Okay, so let's click on updates. So next we want to take care of our icon here. So if you're wondering how to add such an icon, it's just a basic icon. So if you click on the icon here for all the widgets, you type icon, all you have to do is just drag and drop the icon where you want. So it's already pre-styled, and we can go through the settings. So if I go on the content tab, I selected the grip lines icon, but you can also use bars, and I think navicon, no, hamburger, nope. So it's going to be bars or lines, and I'm using grip lines. Okay, next I'm using the stacked view, and shape is circle, but you may style it to however you want it. And for the style tab, the size is 35. And that's about it. Now let's go back to the content, and what we want to do is actually link this icon to the full screen pop-up we saw in the previous segment. So for that, click on the dynamic tags icon here, then scroll down in the drop down and until you find pop-up under actions. So click on pop-up, then click on the wrench icon, then click on the drop down where it says all, and just start typing the name of the pop-up. Now a little trick, I prefix all the pop-ups I create with the prefix pop-up. How original, I know, but at least it makes it easy to find all the pop-ups just in one go. So I'm going to choose the one that I'm personally using. Okay, then I'm going to click on update. And now if I click on the icon, as you can see, it works. Okay, but we're not done yet. So still with our icon selected, we want to go to the advanced tab, and where it says CSS ID, you want to type open-btn. And once again, why do we do that? Just because that's the name of the ID that is referenced in the CSS code that we pasted earlier on in this tutorial. So make sure it's exactly spelled like that. So open-btn. Once again, you find all of that in the companion blog posts with the link in the description below. Okay, so now we can click on update to update our page. So next we want to open the navigator. So for the navigator, you can either do Command I on a Mac or Control I on a PC, or you see the little icon here in the bottom left corner where it says navigator. Okay, so here we can see the structure of our current page. So this is our header. Okay, so as I showed you, when we click on the icon, it works perfectly. But if you take a look, we have this icon here. And if you look at the demo, this is not the way it's supposed to work. Okay, so let me do it one more time. We don't see the animation, and then we have that different icon here. It's not because it's not working, it's just because we did not refresh the page. So this page was loaded before we added some of the components. That's why it's not showing. And it's still showing you the default close button here in the top right corner. So if you experience that, the fix is pretty easy. Well, we're just gonna collapse the first section, then right click, and we're going to duplicate that section. Okay. Next, we're going to remove our logo. So right click and click on delete, and the same for our button. Okay, so we're going to keep our icon here. Now click on the icon, and we're just going to change the way it works. So first of all, we're going to click on the icon and I'm going to type close. Okay, and I'm going to select this one here. Okay, fine. And then very important, you need to remove the link to the pop-up. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And once again, you may be wondering why the tutorial is not working. Well, this is something that's going to break it. So make sure for the second section that you're just going to delete the pop-up connection. Okay. Now to make things easier, I like to rename the sections here. So I'm going to call it open, and the second section, I'm just going to call it close, that I'm sure I know what I'm editing. Okay. So next, there's a few things we want to do. First, with our close section selected, you want to go to Style, Color, and we're just going to drag the opacity all the way down so that it's transparent. Okay, so now it looks like there's no circle, but don't worry about that. Okay, next we want to go to Advanced, Motion Effects, and we're going to remove the sticky behavior. Okay, so once you've done that, click on Update. Okay, so with our work saved, let's continue editing. So let's go back to Advanced, and because we've copied the Open section, it gave it the same Z index, and you also want to change that. Otherwise, guess what? It's not going to work. So we're going to change it to 999. So if you recall, we have the open section that's at 997. Then we have the full screen pop-up at 998, and now we have that top layer with the Z index 999. Okay, so we're almost done, and now we need to go to the custom CSS tab, and once again we're just going to paste some code. Okay, so take a look at what I've done. So this is how it was, and once I paste it, it seems to go all crazy, but don't worry about it. So what I'm doing here is I'm forcing the position of the second section to go on top of the open section. But because it's transparent, it's not going to mess with it. So the first thing we can do is open the close section, and we can actually remove the first two columns because there's nothing in there. They're both empty. Okay. So I'm just going to right click on a column, click on delete, and right click on the second column and click on delete. Okay, so now we only have one column with our close icon. Okay, so next, with our icon selected, so make sure you click here on the icon, we can go to the Advanced tab. And first of all, if you recall, for the open icon, we type the ID, the CSS ID open-btn. Now it's going to be, guess what? Close-btn. Okay, so close-btn. Next, we want to move to positioning. So still with our icon selected, positioning. The width can stay at default, and the position we want to select fixed. Okay, so next we want to set the position of our close icon so that it matches what we have with our open icon. Now you can't really see it, so you're gonna have to play with the settings, but I've already tried, and it's -30 for the horizontal orientation and 20 for the vertical orientation, at least in desktop mode. Now it's pretty easy. You can just change the values little by little, and there must be a more scientific way to do it, but it only took me like 30 seconds. So now if I refresh our page here, okay, so that's working fine. Now let's take a look at the mobile version. And as you can see, for the mobile version, we have a first problem is that we can see the text call to action is overlapping. And now if you click on the icon, it's not in the same spot, which is not the effect we wanted. So first, let's fix the position here. So for that, let's move on to mobile mode. and it's going to be still minus 30 for the horizontal orientation, but this time it's going to be 40 pixels for the vertical orientation. So let's refresh our page. Okay, so now this is what we want. Okay, so let's take care of the call to action text. So let's select our button here. So make sure you check in the navigator to be sure you're working on the correct element. So with our button selected, as you can see, there's no way we can remove the text when we're in mobile mode. For the mobile, it doesn't work. So with our button selected, move on to the advanced tab, go to custom CSS one more time, and you're just going to paste the code that you find in the companion blog posts, and voila, text has disappeared. So basically what I'm doing here is just targeting the button, and what we're asking this code to perform is actually for all devices, as long as it's under 768 pixels, what we want is to remove the text. So that's what this code does. Once again, all you have to do is copy and paste. Now let's go back to the front end, let's refresh, and voila. Looking sweet. So let's go back. This is what we've achieved. And this is the final result as I've shown you in the intro of this video. So as I showed you, it's pretty faithful to the initial wireframes, and it's looking very nice. And if I move into the mobile mode, it just adds a little something. I mean, don't get me wrong, Elementor pop-ups is gorgeous. I really love it. But once in a while, you want some more eye candy. So hopefully you now know how to achieve that. Now, initially, I wanted to replicate that effect for my new website, unfamous.academy. And if you wonder what Unfamous Academy is all about, well, basically it's my crazy secondary channel where I help people become unfamous. Told you it was crazy. So if you want a good laugh and you want to see a crazy quesinho, well, you find a glorious link in the description below. Now, after this shameless self-shout-out, let's go back to today's video. So if you're interested in any of the tools that I mentioned today, you will find all the detail in the description of this video. So you now know how to create a sleek and modern animated full screen navigation with Elementor Pro. Question of the day. What is your favorite type of navigation? Is it the standard navigation, hybrid navigation, or minimal navigation? Please let me know in the comments. And by the way, you find the companion blog post on my website, quesinho.com. And of course, the direct link is in the description of this video. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like it as it really helps growing this channel. And if you know someone that could benefit from it, please share it now. If you're not a subscriber yet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and smash the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Now, if you want to brand, market, and grow your business in the digital age, then make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter so that you never miss a share of digital alchemy, as well as tips, tools, services, and case studies that can help you grow your business online. So that's it for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. And in the meantime, don't forget to invest
in your success.